Are we live? Are we? Um, Sorry guys, I'm just coming back from happy hour, having a brewski, and I just wanted to come make a video. I think it takes a man, a real man, to admit when he's wrong. Make a video. I think it takes a. Sorry about that. There was another video running. Um, yeah, I think it takes a minute to admit that he's wrong, and I've said some things um, that I was wrong about. So I'm going to admit that today. So earlier this year, there was an E3 event, and immediately after the E3 event, um, Microsoft announced the Scorpio, and after that, they announced the Scorpio and a Slim. So after the event, a couple of people that I don't know, were saying that the the Neo, as it were, was meant to compete wasn't meant to compete with the new Scorpio that's coming out. It was meant to compete with the Slim. And today, after watching the E3, not the E3 event, after watching the PlayStation event, I will go ahead and say I was wrong. The Neo, or the PlayStation Pro, or whatever you want to call it, is competing with the Slim, because that shit is not anywhere close to being what the Scorpio is going to be. And that's just real. So today, on YouTube, I'm going to formally come out and say, you guys are right, and I was absolutely motherfucking wrong. So let's move on to let's talk about, let's go ahead and address this. So for you guys that don't know, I should have made a video about this a long time ago. I wasn't using the Google thing back then. I just started using this couple days ago. So, and it's a lot easier. I love this because it's just simple. So, like I said, there was an E3 event, and this all goes into line of what I've been saying about the whole changing of the narrative and things, the goalposts being moved whenever Microsoft has the upper hand, or whatever you want to call it. So again, the Scorpio and the Xbox Slim was announced, right? After they saw that the Scorpio had 6 teraflops of power, of GPU power. Mind you, the Neo specs, or the Pro specs, have already been out, right? So when they saw that the Xbox was going to be more powerful than that, all of a sudden the narrative switched. All of a sudden, the Xbox is trying to go into a new generation, and the new PlayStation is trying to stay in this generation, and it's actually competing with the Slim and not the Scorpio. Now we see, and I kept saying this, and this still holds true today, is that there's always been a console that's just been slightly more powerful. Microsoft just got the upper hand on this one. They just got the upper hand. That's it. Just let it go. But no, it was this whole narrative of no, it's the Xbox is going for another generation. They're trying to get rid of this generation. It's the natural progression of Microsoft and how they usually do things, which is not. I'll explain that in the past video. It had more so to do with Nvidia and all that kind of stuff. It's the reason why their console only lasted 4 years, the original Xbox. But anyway, now that these consoles they're all out there in the open now. Now we're starting to see that what I was talking about was the truth. And so, anyway, that is what it is, and it's over. Let's talk about this new event today. First off the bat, I would say that it was a boring event from what I can what I can hear. I wasn't able to watch too much of it because I was at work and people were coming and asking me questions and stuff, and I just couldn't get every little detail out of it. But and what I was able to listen to and some of see is that it was boring as hell. And I think the highlights of the event was the games. And this has been my stance since day one. Why I felt like the Xbox was better was because of the games that they delivered. PlayStation has slowly started getting more games, but or more big AAA games. But from the get go, the reason why I thought the Xbox was better is because of the games. I thought the PS3 was a better system last generation because of the exclusive games. That's just me. That's how that's how I do things. That's what I like about certain consoles. But anyway, so the Slim is formally announced. Oh, back to the games. The games look amazing. The Spider-Man looked great. The Horizon Zero Dawn, that shit looked awesome. And the what other game they show? Oh, and Mass Effect. Mass Effect. Those games looked amazing, and that's what I'm excited for. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Slim because I don't have a PS4 anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. But those games look amazing, and I'm really looking forward to them. But yeah, let's get back on track. So they announced this, they formally announced the Slim, and then they talk about the Neo, formerly known as Neo. It's called the PlayStation Pro now. So they officially announced that it pretty much all the leaked documents that came out. That just goes to show that it was right. It wasn't fake. If you notice in their conference, they didn't talk about. So Sony has always been, not always, but they've been talking about a lot about power and resolution, and pretty much started this whole resolution war shit. And also, in my opinion, I feel like it put a damper on this generation. In my opinion, this generation should be, and all generations should be, about the games and the graphics and stuff like that. But resolution, I just felt like the games looked good enough, and resolution shouldn't be as important when it comes to these games. And so that whole agenda has been pushed so much in this generation. So Sony put it out there. Get used to hearing your games running at 1080p, 60 frames per second, and they still haven't done that to this day. They still have not put out a 1080p, 60 frames per second, next generation exclusive game. But Microsoft has been able to put out 3, I think, 3 or 4. I can't remember exactly how many. But this whole talk about power and shit like that, and I think they've talked about it so much and they've hammered it home so much that it started to affect sales, and it started to affect how these games are being made. And so, like I said, I've always been more about the games and how they, as opposed to this whole resolution shit. And I feel like Sony kind of stuck their foot in their mouth by doing that. I mean, overall, it's beneficial to them because they're making a lot of money off of it. It's pretty much it. The PlayStation has pretty much saved Sony's business as a whole. So it's been beneficial for them, and I think it's going to be beneficial for them for a long time. So I can't really fault them for it. But me as a consumer, I think it sucks. So anyway, they talk about the Neo and they didn't even. The funny thing is they didn't even talk about the specs. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but that's just how I roll. It's funny because they didn't even really talk about the specs. They said that the GPU is 2 times more powerful than their old GPU, and all this stuff. They didn't really talk about specifics at all, and they're pretty much doing exactly what I said they would be doing. Hold on one second. Okay, just saw a comment. Okay, it pretty much did exactly what I thought they were going to do. Even though the games aren't really native for, or they aren't going to be native 4K, they're going to push 4K. That's just what I think any business would do, because it's more so about the how you market things. You obviously got to have some of the power to back it up. I believe that marketing is almost, if not if not more important, it's the same, or it's the same if not more important than the actual product. How you market things is very, 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 very important. And so I already knew that. I knew they were going to come out and say, "Hey, this can do 4K. This is the first 4K gaming console. Come get it today at whatever price they want to put it at." And they put it at a really competitive price, at $399, I believe. So they talked about that. They talked about how I think the backwards compatibility, not backwards compatibility, it being capable to work with PS4 games and future games. Basically, it's forward and backwards compatible. Yeah, that's pretty much what they talked about. Basically, I don't think, as far as the looks of the console is concerned, I think it looks decent. I think it looks good. I also think the Slim looks decent. A lot of people are saying it looks ugly and all that kind of stuff. I think it looks good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to pick it up. Their conference was boring as hell, but they did what they had to do, and they're going to go ahead and sell this console. And the funny thing is I think they're going to do well with it. I think they're going to do well. I don't think people are going to wait for the Scorpio like that. Like I said, the mind share and the way you market things is super important, and the way people operate, they kind of get people kind of get stuck in their ways. And so it's going to take a while for the whole PlayStation thing, the PlayStation 4 thing, to dwindle away, and I think Sony knows that. And by the time the Scorpio comes out, they're going to be able to drop the price of this thing to 350, 325, whatever they want to drop it at, and that's very important. I can't stress how important that is. So you got the mind share already, and then you're going to have a cheaper console out there. So that's a win. This is a win-win for Sony, in my opinion. The worst thing about it is people out there know that there's going to be people out there, the hardcore are going to know that the Xbox is coming out and it's going to be more powerful. That's the only downfall to this. Feel about it. I think Sony's marketing is superb. The only fault I find in this is that I think they should have released it next year. 3 SKUs out there this year, basically, during Christmas. So this whole thing, I think they should have released it next year. That way, people have a chance to breathe. Just keep the Slim out there. Put the Slim out there. Let that bring as much money as it can, and then next year, bring your next console out. Let that simmer for a while, and then once the Christmas time hits, you give them the Christmas deal. You knock the price down, and you're still rolling in dough. So that's what I would have done. But Sony, I think their marketing team is superb. I praise them for them being able to push out and get so many sales for something that isn't, in my opinion, that hasn't really done anything spectacular. But that's just my opinion on it. On the whole situation. So just to recap, I had to come clean today and let everybody know I made a mistake and I was wrong. And the PlayStation event was really, I thought it was boring, but it was very informed. It wasn't even, I think it created more questions than anything, but it did let us know that the Neo is coming and it's out there, and it'll be out there in a couple months for us to go out there and purchase. So I'm really looking forward to it, and that's pretty much it, guys. Please leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I like dialogue. I would like to talk and interact with you guys and get your thoughts on everything, and see where it goes from there. Are you excited about this? Are you not excited about it? Was it all that you hoped it would be? How do you think the games looked? Do you think the games look good? Let me know in the comment section. Follow me at CycleGamer1 on Twitter. And that's pretty much it, y'all. Have a good one. I'm gonna finish this brewski, and that's it for tonight. Y'all have a good one. Peace.